everybody, how's it going? SpiderMan coming back at you once again, and today I'm going to be talking about the stuff that I got for Black Friday. In particular, I'm going to be talking about the stuff that I got from Best Buy. Usually Best Buy is my favorite of the year, and I believe it was pretty clear in my video. Best Buy was my favorite of the year this year as well. They had they had the best deals. They did kind of disappoint me, at least in one way, but, well, I'll deal with that and I'll talk about it when I get to it. Before I even get into that, let's show you what I picked up. First off, here we have Life, which I got because it's a sci-fi movie that I really wanted to see, that I didn't get the chance to see when it was in theaters, but when I saw the trailers for it, I was just like, oh, I really want to see this movie. Unfortunately, again, just didn't have the chance to see it in theaters, so I waited, and, well, now it's here on Blu-ray, and guess what? Because it was part of their buy one, get one sale, I ended up getting it for, like, $3.50. So, yeah, pretty cool. This probably is one of the best deals I got all year, throughout Black Friday. So, very, very, very happy with this one in particular. But we'll see. You know, I do have to actually get around to watching it first, and maybe let you know my thoughts on it afterward. But yeah, Life, I'm expecting good things. We shall see. Next up, I got Moana. Of course, I loved Moana. I actually did go to see this in theaters. I enjoyed what I saw. And I know that it's on Netflix, but even though it's on Netflix, people say, oh, it's on Netflix, it's on Netflix. Yeah, Disney is starting their own service. Do you really think it's going to be on Netflix that much longer? Do you? Do you really? It's not. And if you don't want to pay for Disney, which I probably will, but, you know, if I didn't want to, then at least I would have it here. This was $8. So anytime you can get a Disney Blu-ray, especially a good Disney movie for under $10, that's a fantastic deal that you got to take advantage of, especially one that's like this. Moana, I think, is one of the best Disney movies that's come out in several years. So yeah, very, very happy with this pickup. Very happy to finally have this in my collection. Next up, we have Resident Evil The Final Chapter, which I have the other movies in the collection. I got like the 5-pack several years back for a really good price, and, well, this came down to $5.99. I believe it came out this year too, but it was down to $5.99 on sale during Black Friday, so I said, you know what, that's a good price for it. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. Whether or not it's any good, or I should say whether or not it's really good or really cheesy, I have a feeling I'm going to have fun with this one, because I had a lot of fun with the last one. The last one was just ridiculous fun, right? And I feel like this is going to be more of the same here. More ridiculous fun. I am excited to see. And then, finally, after several years of, well, I guess it hasn't been that long. It's only been a few years, but enough years that they've done a sequel, and I still haven't seen the original. I decided to pick up John Wick for $4. I'm not really an action guy. You know, the kind of movies that are just action for action's sake. I don't typically go in for those types of movies. I'm not really all about those. The plot behind this sounded kind of stupid to me at first, quite frankly. The concept for it was just like, really? Okay, why is everybody so excited and happy about this? I don't know. But whatever the case is, so many people, even friends, have told me, people I trust when it comes to their reviews, have told me I definitely need to see this. So hey, $4? Hell, that's a damn good price, I think, for this. I haven't seen it, but again, having heard so many good things, I'm sure it's going to be quite good, or at least fun. I'm at least hoping for fun. And then I picked up The Conjuring 2, which, if you have been following me, you know that I picked up The Conjuring a few months ago. Maybe it was just last month, actually. But yeah, I had been waiting for that one to drop in price for quite some time, and I finally found it for a decent price, and now this went down to $5.99 during Black Friday, so I went ahead and picked that up because, hey, that means I've got Conjuring, Conjuring 2, and Annabelle, and I just need the new Annabelle movie to complete the collection. Ooh. And, you know, there's a cheesy element to these movies, but I love the fact that they're like almost more of a classic haunted, I don't want to say haunted mansion, but haunted house kind of movie. Reminding me, obviously, of movies like like Poltergeist and like The Exorcist and stuff like that. I feel like I loved movies like that. In fact, Poltergeist is probably my favorite horror movie. So yeah, if I'm really into those movies, then you should probably expect that even if these aren't perfect, that I'm going to be quite into these movies as well. The Conjuring movies, at least. I wasn't expecting to be that into them, actually. When my friend Sean Zarnizarek said I should check it out, I was like, really? The trailer made it look like every other horror movie ever, right? But then you actually watch it, and it was actually pretty good, you know? It was, I would say, somewhat effective and somewhat spooky, somewhat creepy, somewhat scary. I enjoyed it, and it told a decent, cohesive story. And the second one did the same. In fact, some might say it did a little better. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed this. I saw this in theaters, really had a blast, so glad to now have it on Blu-ray and in my collection. Next here, I picked up The Founder for $5.99. I watched this, I believe, on Netflix, but again, won't always be on Netflix, I'm sure. The Founder is, of course, the story of Ray Kroc, I think, who kind of stole the idea of McDonald's away from the McDonald's brothers, from the people who actually created McDonald's. I won't say he stole it, right? He's just kind of a jerk, right? The way he did it is kind of shitty, right? But at the same time, he also this movie kind of shows you how he also kind of contributed some things and made it successful. So, like, is it really his fault that he went to all this? It makes you question that. That's what I love about this movie, is that you don't have to like the guy that it stars, but you have to at least question, is he as terrible as they're making him out to be? Is he as terrible as others have made him out to be? Or was he just trying to be industrious and he saw a great idea and he wanted to share it with the world, you know? So, I don't know. It's up to, I think, everybody to decide on that one, but I enjoyed it, at least. I enjoy that kind of a character-driven film, and this was very much that. Next up, I picked up Arrival, which, again, another one I saw in theaters and really enjoyed. I don't like... after I saw it, I felt like this is a good movie. This is a really good movie, and I can't wait to add it to my collection. However, everybody else was talking about it's like the best sci-fi movie they've ever seen, and I'm like, I don't know if I'd say it's the best. It's definitely good. It's definitely, even I would say, very good. But it's not like it's a perfect sci-fi movie. It's not a 10 out of 10. I don't even think it's like a 9 out of 10. I think 8 out of 10 is fair, but like, it's not the perfect movie. There are issues. It's not... It's a little drawn out, I would say. So, as much as I really enjoyed this movie, I don't think it's fair to like give it way too much credit, you know what I mean? Next up, I picked up Baby Driver here for $7. I felt like that was a really good deal for a movie that's, well, written and directed by Edgar Wright. I have a pretty good feeling about that. I mean, Edgar Wright, I have never seen him do a movie that was terrible. Never. So, even though when this first came out, like, I had no idea even it was written and directed by Edgar Wright. It didn't seem like the kind of movie that he does, you know what I mean? So, just based on the title alone, I'm like, what even is this and why is it so popular? And I didn't bother going to see it in theaters because of that. Had I known, had I done any research at all, I probably would have, but I didn't, and, well, paying for it now because, well, I just decided to say, screw it, I'm going to buy the Blu-ray here for $7, and that way I can watch it finally for myself. So, yeah. It's too bad that I decided to wait to watch it because, well, that also means that in the time that I waited to watch it, one of the guys here turns out to be a real douchebag. And sure, there were stories, but you never knew what was true and what wasn't. I had never heard any stories about him doing the kind of shit that they said about him. You know, that has apparently been verified. You know, but you know, I won't say it doesn't surprise me. It does surprise me, but it's so disappointing because it's like, I really like this guy. I really like his acting. It's disappointing to know that somebody whose work I admire turns out to be kind of a douchebag. And there's a way to reconcile that. A lot of people say, well, I can't watch anything they do anymore. That's not at all true. I watch Woody Allen movies. He's a lecherous asshole, right? But the good thing about Woody Allen, at least, is that almost all of his movies, he plays the character that is a lecherous asshole. So it's not like he's trying to be something else. It's not like he's trying to be anything else. He's just playing essentially the kind of person that maybe he actually is, you know? So in other cases, it feels like a lie because most of the times that someone like Kevin Spacey plays a role, he doesn't play that kind of a character. He plays a variety of different roles, right? And sometimes he plays an asshole. He's a very good asshole. And maybe that's because he is, in fact, an actual asshole. I don't know. But I think the way that you reconcile something like that is just to say that it's tainted their work, but it doesn't mean they're not good at what they do. You have to say, well, he definitely deserves to lose work. He definitely deserves to lose a little bit of money. He definitely deserves to pay for what he's done and and he should apologize, obviously, and not the shitty ass apologies that he gave, but a real fucking apology. And, you know, try to improve. Try to become a better person, you know? But until then, and even beyond then, I think it's important just to say, hey, he's a bad person, but as long as he doesn't remain a bad person, as long as something comes out of this and something changes, then it's not like all of his work is, you know, worthless now. It's not like you can never watch any of his work ever again. That's ridiculous. So, I can't wait to finally see Baby Driver, even though that guy's in it. Next up, I got Birth of a Nation, which I saw on HBO. I recently got HBO as a package deal of with the internet that I got. And they had this on there as one of their big new movies several months back. And I was like, I never got to see this in theaters, so I wanted to see it finally. And that's what I did. And I was pleasantly surprised. Very, very pleasantly surprised. Because there were some people saying it was trash. And there were some people saying it was good, but it didn't deserve an Oscar. And some people saying it did deserve an Oscar. I don't know if it deserved an Oscar or not, but it was a very, very good movie. I mean, it wasn't the kind of movie that I would say is like film school level excellence. You know, it's not the kind of thing that you expect to see in the Criterion collection, all right? But it's good. It's very good, and I think it's very important. And it was only $4, so I said, why the hell not? $4 is a very, very good price for a movie such as this, especially considering how, you know, controversial it ended up being. I don't feel like it should have been as controversial as it was, but yeah, very, very glad to be able to get this for such a good price. Next, I found Spider-Man Homecoming, or rather ordered Spider-Man Homecoming here for $8. Very good deal. Yes, Walmart had it for $7, but I went to Walmart and I didn't pick anything up because that was a nightmare. I am convinced maybe I didn't go to Walmart, because if I did go to Walmart, that would mean what actually happened was real, and I can't accept that, because what actually happened there was a goddamn nightmare. Okay, regardless, Spider-Man Homecoming, saw this in theaters and was very pleasantly surprised. Very, very good movie. You know, with Sony here, Sony, Marvel Studios, and Columbia Pictures, with Sony being the one behind this and working with Marvel Studios to, put Tony Stark and Iron Man in there and whatnot. You'd never know exactly what you're going to get. You never know if it's going to work out or not, because sometimes when studios work together, they don't produce something good. But it worked so well, and I think this is probably one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. I would not say the bar none favorite, because honestly, the first and second movies of the early 2000s or late 90s or whenever those came out, the Tobey Maguire ones, I feel like those are always to me going to be like the best Spider-Man movies. But this one is pretty damn close. This one is very, very good. I was very happy with this one, so I'm obviously quite happy to be able to get it for such a good price and now have it in my collection. Next up, we have War for the Planet of the Apes, which I have yet to see and I really wanted to see, but I didn't get the chance to in theaters, so yeah, about time that I finally got around to seeing it. And this one was $8, I believe. $8, pretty good deal. I wouldn't say it's the best deal ever, but, if it's something you really wanted to see, and it's something that you didn't get the chance to see, and it's on Blu-ray for $8, it's not a bad deal. Especially considering that I've heard really, really good things about this. I've heard it's possibly even better than all the others, than the previous two Planet of the Apes movies, I should say. So, yeah, very excited to see if this is in fact as good as everybody says it is. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff, and I like that it came with the slipcover. Very nice. Nice touch. Next up, I decided to go ahead and pick up Wonder Woman on 4K, and some of you may be looking at that and wondering why, because I got the Blu-ray a few months ago, or a month or two ago, or something like that. Well, the reality of the situation is I didn't know the 4K was going to be $10 on Black Friday. Had I known that, I might have waited, but I probably still wouldn't have. Even so, you'll recall that I got that Blu-ray for free, didn't pay a dime. So, when it came time to when Black Friday came around, I was just like, you know what, yes, I've got the Blu-ray, but I'm going to get the 4K because I want to have this in the highest possible quality. It was such a good movie that I wanted to have it in the highest possible quality, and I knew that I could probably just turn around and sell the Blu-ray copy that I have and get at least a couple bucks back on that, maybe 5, maybe even the full 10 of this 4K here. And ultimately I'd be upgrading to 4K here and get the same content that I already had in the Blu-ray, but now it's in 4K. Whatever I decide to do, I have yet to actually open it up because, well, I've seen the movie on Blu-ray, probably not going to see it again anytime soon, not going to sit down and watch it anytime very soon. That being said, if Batman vs. Superman on 4K is any indication, then the price is probably not going to get much lower than $10 anytime soon. If you go back and look at Camel with Batman vs. Superman on 4K, it has not dropped below the $10 price point that it was last Black Friday. So if that's any indication, this probably will also not drop below $10 in the next year or so. So if I, as I intend to, manage to pick up a 4K TV sometime in the next year, then I'm going to want some 4K movies to watch on it. I'll wait until I get that 4K TV. And now I have Wonder Woman, probably one of the best DC movies ever, on 4K. So that was my thought process on it. Just to be able to get it for $10 is such a good deal. And yes, maybe sometime in the future, 4 or 5 years from now, it'll be $5 or something like that. But probably going to watch it. Probably going to want to watch it again before then. And $10 is probably going to remain a good price for at least another year or two. So I didn't care. I was like, you know what? I got to do that. I got to do that. Double dip. Again, I'm probably going to sell the Blu-ray, so whatever. Next up, I managed to pick up Manchester by the Sea here for $5.99, which is notable because this movie, as you can see, 2 Academy Award wins. This is an Academy Award winning movie. Used to be a time when movies that were Academy Award winners were highly sought after, seen as important films, notable films, artistic films. Those kinds of movies never went down in price, especially not to $5.99. So the mere fact that this movie was just recently, just last year, or in 2016's Academy Awards, was chosen as a winner. That mere fact that this is an award-winning film from last year that is now $5.99, that's pretty interesting to me, and it's really awesome that I can get it for such a good price, you know what I mean? I did actually sit down and watch this on Amazon, and I absolutely loved it. Fantastic movie, and again, glad to have it on Blu-ray now. Next we have Moonlight, which I also managed to snag for $5.99. Again, this is like the famous one that won the Academy Award and had everybody just like, oh, shoot, they said the other movie. They said La La Land, But yeah, this won Best Picture, and again, I watched this on Amazon and I quite enjoyed it, so I figured it's worth picking up for $5.99. It's a really good deal for such a fantastic movie, an award-winning film. And again, it also came in the slipcover here, so can't go wrong with that. $5.99 Blu-ray, slipcover, award-winning. What more need I say? If you haven't seen, I will say, if you haven't seen Moonlight, you definitely should give it a chance. It is a very good movie. Next up, I got Alien Covenant, which I have been waiting to see for quite some time. This one I was really beat up about not being able to see in the theaters. So I am very, very, very happy to finally have it in my collection here on Blu-ray. It's been a long time coming. I know a lot of people have talked shit about it and said it wasn't very good. Some people liked it, some people hated it. My friends have said it's fantastic. I'll reserve judgment until I see it, but I will say that I really enjoyed Prometheus. I own the 3D Blu-ray of that just for the 4-hour documentary that I still have yet to actually watch, but just the mere fact that it is a 4-hour documentary on it is really cool. And I have said about Prometheus before that a lot of people, I feel like, just took the wrong approach with it and just did not give it a chance, and it's sad that people pigeonhole what a sci-fi has to be and what a sci-fi horror has to be. They're just like, well, it didn't have an alien in it, then it sucked, or it ran on too long, or they spent too much time on this or too much time on that. It's like, they didn't explain this or they didn't explain that. Like, there were so many people complaining about just every little fucking thing in that movie, and quite frankly, it did not deserve all the criticism that it got. Not all the hate, at least, because it's not a bad thing for a movie to make you think, right? Sometimes questions are left unanswered so that you will think about them and make up your own damn mind. And that's exactly what Ridley Scott was doing with Prometheus, and I have no doubt that he did something similar with Alien Covenant, and probably people were pissed off about it, but fucking deal with it. So, yeah. Very happy to finally have this. Unfortunately, this was the one that cost $9, and $9 for a Blu-ray for me is a little high, but it was the cheapest that it's ever been, and I was like, you know what? Fine. They had the 4K at $15, but I was like, you know what? I don't have all the money in the world. I'm just gonna get the Blu-ray and save $6. Whatever. Next up, before actually Black Friday started, I got these next two titles, and that would be Get Out for $5 with the slipcover, and this is actually a really nice slipcover. I don't know if you can tell. That's really cool. Yes, the hit comedy film Get Out. Yeah, that's the joke because it was listed as a comedy in one of the the Golden Globes, not the Global Globes, the Golden Globes, listed as a comedy. This is not a comedy. There are some funny moments, but it's not a comedy film. You know what I mean? So the mere fact that it got listed as a comedy film is just, what are you doing? What are you doing? But regardless, really enjoyed this movie. Did not expect to like it as much as I did. You know, I went into it thinking, is this going to be one of those movies that like tries too hard to be one thing and just fails? No, it didn't fail at all. It did a very good job of doing exactly what it was trying to do. And I don't want to get into these freaking racial debates with anybody, so that's all I'm going to say. Very much enjoyed the movie. Very glad to have it in my collection. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So, yeah. And then last but not least, the last thing I got from Best Buy was A Cure for Wellness for $6.99. And that might be... I mean, I haven't seen some of the other movies I got, right? I haven't seen them yet, so I have to reserve judgment. But this might be the best title that I picked up, bar none, in the entire haul of everything that I got on Black Friday and during the whole Black Friday sales. Because I watched this, and it was freaking phenomenal. This is probably my favorite movie of the year right here. Because they brought back gothic horror in a way that I have never seen, I don't think. Like, it's a completely original gothic story. Legit gothic story here. And it's so well told, and the cinematography is so freaking fantastic. Visual storytelling like I have rarely ever seen before. It's just so good. I can't believe people don't like this. I don't know why they don't like it. It's so good. And in some ways it kind of reminded me of what's that Scorsese movie with Leonardo DiCaprio that I'm thinking about right now? I don't remember the name. Shutter Island, yeah. It kind of reminded me of Shutter Island. But then there were also these elements that were very much, I felt like, calling back to the classic gothic horror movies and tales, such as The Invisible Man, Dracula, and stuff like that. There's just all these little notes and hints, and I felt like even a few maybe little references to things like that. And they all worked so well on this small little level, so that it wasn't clear whether or not they were trying to like remake that story or something like that. It was just like this was a influential element. It didn't, completely inspire. It didn't completely overtake everything that was being told and everything that was being done in the film. It was just kind of like a little inspiration to it, you know what I mean? And I love when a movie can do that. I love when the story can do that, when it can take inspiration from something but not just completely take and steal the idea of it at the same time, you know what I mean? So, very, very, very pleased with this one. And really cool that it came with the slipcover. if you haven't seen A Cure for Wellness, highly recommend this. You have to see this. It's so fantastic. And sadly, that's it. That's the last one that I got. However, there was one more title that I was supposed to get that did not show up with the other stuff that I got from Best Buy. And that would be Kong Skull Island. I'm not going to make a separate video to show you Kong Skull Island, but it was $5.99 on sale, and I got that as well. Unfortunately, it did not arrive in the box that they said it was going to arrive in, so I get to call Best Buy tomorrow and be like, what? And I'm sure they will bend over backwards to make me happy by sending me out another copy, so whatever. I don't know what happened. It just seems like something where they probably just forgot to put it in the box. I don't know. Whatever the case is, I'm going to get what I paid for, so it's just going to take a little bit more time. Whatever. I'm not the kind of person who gets angry about that kind of thing. It's a little disappointing. It's always disappointing when you have to deal with customer service, stuff like that, especially when you're dealing with a company like Best Buy already. And Best Buy hasn't necessarily been winning me over as of late with some of their practices and some of the things that they've been doing that have been really annoying me and pissing me off, as I've mentioned in previous videos. But it's the nature of the beast, if you will. As Wet Movie once says, he calls it the beast, and I think that's a good name, because yeah, it's like you can't live with them, you can't live without them. They have a lot of great deals for a Blu-ray aficionado like myself, so I kind of have to deal with it if I want to get a good deal, So, yeah, it's the sad truth, the sad fact of the matter. So, anyways, regardless of that little error they made, I'm very happy with my pickups in total from them. I'm very happy with all the deals that I got. So, yeah. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Peace.